one of those shows that you have to be waiting for, because we get to discuss serious business today. And the conversation we're going to have today is one of those very important conversations from very, very significant people when it comes to the development, economic development to be specific, because these are not politicians. No. But I know in a number of times they have been pulled into politics. That one is inevitable. So I have the Executive Director of PPDA, Public Procurement, and I also have the Executive Director of UNBS, that is Uganda National Bureau of Standards. Put standards in capital letters, because that is exactly what we're chasing for. We're going to discuss something that is key, and the people who are dealing in grains, one of the things that someone may not have known, that there's a policy on grains. So yes, we're discussing grains and grain product, a guideline for procurement of grains and grain products. So that's why we have the Executive Director of UNBS and the Executive Director of PPDA. Ladies and gentlemen, let me take this opportunity to introduce my very distinguished guests on my show today, starting with my friend that I've had before. Yes, please.
Benson, the PPDA, giving you listeners and
thank you. Glad to have you here. And Mr.
James Kasigwa.
James Kasigwa, yes.
The UNBS.
UNBS.
Good evening, and I'm happy to be here.
Glad to have you on the show for the first time. Sure. I'm sure somebody out there is interested in listening to UNBS. Personally, I think I've had an urge to have a conversation with someone from UNBS, and here you are. You know, a lot of things have been happening. On this show, we get to talk about what is happening on the ground. So some of them are political issues, but then we'll get back to the topic. So for those that are out there and they're waiting for that moment, the Katonga side of FDC has decided to go to Electoral Commission, and they're forming their own political party. People's Front for Freedom, something like that. I told you, I don't have politicians on my show today.
Is that happening?
Yes, it happened. So I'm also informing them that, yes, there's a new political party in process, because I don't think it has been formed yet. So that's on the BCG side. But also, we have had quite a number of things that have been happening. We're still up for Kitezi. People that there are now 40 people, and they're still searching for more people that have died in Kitezi. Yeah. Quite a very big tragedy. If UNBS was part of the construction approvals, I would be having Mr. James today very well, because we have been complaining about one of the things of how did these houses come to be constructed in that area. You get, that has been our question. But that's not our conversation
today.
Yes. So let's get back to our conversation.
Yeah.
Yes. Mr. Benson, right. Glad to have you on the show. How has been life? What is new today that we're going to have?
Thank you very much, and thank you for providing this time for us, PPDA. This is the show. We are going to talk about grains.
Yes.
And our conversation will mainly zero on public procurement,
yes,
and certification of grain and grain products. This grain product, grain generally is one of the biggest products that is consumed by all of us.
Yes. If
we ask them to do us, eaten food,
it's great.
If we have tasted food, all of us must have tasted
great.
So it is wheat, rice, maize grain, maize flour,
beans,
peas.
All we have all tasted grain.
Yes.
I've seen people don't eat meat, but I've not seen anyone
who doesn't eat grains. At least eat somewhere some grains.
So the conversation is showing that, and what are we talking about? We are talking about quality, the food that we take,
yes,
and to what extent it it affects or not affect our health. And more especially now the entry point, as far as I'm concerned, at PPDA, is grain and grain product that is consumed by government agencies, that is procured by government agencies. And we have a number of government agencies that procure, but it doesn't actually mean that they are the consumers.
Oh,
They are the ones who consume it. They procure for the consumers.
for the consumers.
You could be procuring for refugees.
Yes.
Say if you are office of the Prime Minister, you buy grain, you buy maize flour, you buy beans, and you supply to refugees, which is consumed within that community. Could be buying for Uganda Prison Services, you are buying for the prisoners,
Police.
UPDF, yes. Those people in training camps,
Yes.
to war, all of those mainly consume those products. But if you, for example, talk about Uganda Prison Services, I mean, people are in prison and are consuming, the warders are consuming these products. So really, government is a biggest buyer of grain in support of modernizing and expanding the agriculture sector. Because if we improve what we are talking about, if grain and grain products are improved, it means the farmer, actually the ultimate beneficiary, in addition to the health that we are going to get, is the farmer. Because certification goes through a process, and my colleague will talk about it. But you have a farmer here, and I will give an example of maize, who is growing maize, small or large scale.
Yes.
Agriculture Ministry and even through PDM has supported this farmer to increase production. You have big output of your farm. How do you now process it to the last person who consumes
So
it?
that's person who consumes it.
Do you dry it properly?
Yes.
Do you clean it properly? Do you store it properly
Yes.
so it doesn't attract aflatoxins? What about that milling itself?
Yes.
How do you mill it? Is it attracting all these way out of machines? And that is where UNBS comes in. The certification of that process so that will consume good quality and safe.
I love one thing about Mr. Benson. He's one of the best public lecturers I think I've listened to. Because, you know, in the process of just that introduction, he has defined what grains are with examples. You know, and he has already given their objective as PPDA in the grains policy.
Right.
Clearly in an introduction. And that makes you think, okay, which question am I going to ask? But he's a brilliant man. He's a brilliant man considering how he stipulates his conversation. The last time you were here, I told you you were the right man for the job.
Thank you.
Because you understand it fully well. But what Mr. James, I wouldn't want him to look at his friend and like, hey, this guy, why am I here? Why am I here? Because he's single-handedly handling everything. But for that reason, since we started a little bit with the minutes gone, we are going to just do a simple commercial break. When we come back, we want to introduce the new kid on the block, Mr. James from UNBS, to see how he gives us a bit of what he has carried for us. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Economic Agenda. My name is Noah Wapera, and you are watching Smart 24 TV Driving Business. Stay tuned.
Smart 24, driving business.
Mama nyabo, ino internet wenyukanga ekizungirizi. Ate kamera ya yolumamyo. Banange ebyandaka ku buggo. Guno mugano gwennyini. Funa kabodi supakati ku nsimbi ezisaliddwako ng'otandika kusinza emitwalo 49 zokka. Usasule mpola mpola. Sinsi 833 buli lunaku. Weewangulira omugano gwa kabodi super okuva ku MTN Christmas eno. Weefunire GB 2 eza data wa MTN buli mwezi okumala emyezi 8. Weegambulire kabodi super kati okuva ku dduuka lya MTN wonna mu ggwanga. Everywhere you go, MTN. Ekolera wansi w'amateeka ga UCC.
Amabara nibanyetaye baziwe Lusia Nyenduga Kyegegwa district nkabanda sambaire ninkora omulimo gwa saluni mazire mu mwaka gumu kabando wa saluni narora agent owaito omkyegegwa yeja yampikaho yagamba aliyo project ebakweta grow gundi World Bank bagambire kasero y'abakazi abali mu byara bena ama business gebyemikono babaleta kunu Kampala Malaika kusoma then babahereza certificate babongera habukugo bayene nayo naikiriza yampandika era nkasemerwa muno nizire hano mazire hokwezi kumu nyegere kukora za dreads zimbaire ntamanyire abantu abantu bazinsaba muno ntakuzimanya naiga kukora makeup era n'abandi begere bankora ka makeup hati ninjagarukayo ngende musaluni yange nkore byembaire ntamanyire binyegere kunuka dreads ze cyangu weave ezokora n'engaro then nja kusoma nja kubundafuna chance nja kutunga n'abantu abali mu cyaro abatakumanya skills ezitwegere kuno nabo mbarabiremu kugamba nko kubayikirize bakatusera bakatuhereza lyaga amagezi nayo ntagayikalira nyenka nyegese abakazi abali mu cyaro abandi bayitukandi hatekizibu ebintu bimwe bitwegere itwe nkaito mu cyaro haturi byena kamasanyarazi obankaki bitu mu cyaro cyaitu tigaliyo government we kutuyamba hekatera ya masanyarazi ntugisaba Kyegegwa tuliyo baitu tuina masanyarazi ekiriyaho government we kutuyambe katera ho mukone katera ya masanyarazi sakore bitwegere tutunguka business zaitu nzikurakurana kandi ekichweka nkisemera so ni malira kusima Malaika Institute okutusomesa n'abeegisa baitu na project ya grow na World Bank kuteka musente bebale muno.
Grow, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family, be a leader, be magic.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda, the taste.
Everyone has a favorite housemate, and the power to keep your favorite in Big Brother's house is by voting. They need your vote each week, and here's how. You can vote on the website or mobile site. You can also vote using the My GoTV app. The higher your GoTV package, the more votes and power you get to keep your faves in the game. Voting opens every Monday and closes every Thursday. Vote now to save your faves from eviction and keep them in Biggie's house. Big Brother Niger, no lose guard. Rated 18. Brought to you by gold sponsor Guinness. Black shines brightest. Yeah.
Smart 24, driving business. Smart 24, driving business.
Okay, welcome back. Thank you so much for being part of Smart 24 TV. Before we left, my good friend, Mr. Benson, gave us a very brief public lecture. And for those that picked a number of points, you now understand why PPDA and UNBS and the grains and grain products, you definitely understand. And by now you understand what grains are. He has given examples of maize, of rice, sorghum, wheat, and all those agricultural products that come, produces that come, from the farmers. Let me give this very good honor to our new guest, Mr. James, Engineer James. I shouldn't forget that, Mr. James, yes. And Engineer James. Please. We would like to hear from you the fact that it's your first time on our show, and you have come at a moment when you were discussing a very important issue. I would say, why are you here today?
Yes, thank you, and good evening, viewers. James Kasigwa is my name. I'm glad to be hosted at the Economic Agenda on a very important topic of a landmark initiative by the government of Uganda, championed by PPDA and the Ministry of Finance, where they are requiring that all procurements for grain and grain products must be coming from certified entities or farms. That is very critical, like your name, the program name suggests, the economic agenda. The government of Uganda has an economic target, a tenfold growth agenda from a 50 million US dollars to 500 million US dollars in 10 to 15 years. And talking matters grain, it speaks to the priorities that government has set, the priorities of export promotion, import substitution, and industrialization.
Yes.
When you look at Uganda, we are an agricultural economy, and grain becomes a huge product or input into that agricultural agenda. Why do I say that? Grain is does not only support our food, but also our industries.
Yes.
You will know that the value chain range from the products like posho and wheat, but even to the feeds. Now, regarding UNBS, our role is very critical because our mandate spans from developing, promoting and enforcing standards to ensure public health, safety and the environment, fair trade and consumer protection to the extent of value addition and fitness for purpose. But even in line with the topic today, competitiveness of those local products. Now, one of our key roles as UNBS has been to ensure quality assurance.
Yes.
But also to that, to fight substandard goods on our markets. Now, one of the tools that we've been using as UNBS has been what I would want to call a stick. Enforcement was based on market surveillance, and should we find products that do not match our standards, then we seize. But this, what PPDA and the government has initiated today of requiring all suppliers of grain and grain products to be certified, adds another tool, a carrot. So now we have a carrot, a stick and what? Carrot. To supply government, who is the biggest buyer, you must be certified by UNBS.
That's a good
I will want to also highlight the benefits that that requirement brings to the farms we are requiring to certify. When they certify and they have the UNBS stamp, quality mark, then they can access markets even beyond Uganda, beyond the borders. East Africa, you have a quality mark, you have a quota-free, duty-free access to all the East African countries. So it's a landmark initiative. Now, to the companies themselves, they are going to improve their efficiency, they reduce their waste, and that goes even back to the farmers themselves. So it's a landmark achievement, and we need. And also, what like this host and the reach, given that the reach is even international. When Uganda comes with such an initiative, it adds a lot of trust to our entire markets. Yes, in regard to say now grain, and you know Uganda is the food basket of Africa. So surely that is why I think it's a landmark.
Just as you continue to give us a brief on the background of the grains and the grains product, there's a policy, an entire policy on grains. Maybe it would be very good to hint a little bit on the confidence that the government is giving to Ugandans about the policy. What are some of those key things that Ugandans should know that run around grains production and also promotion of grains as a key thing in sustaining the economy?
Yeah, thank you very much again. There is the National Grain Trade Policy of 2015. So clearly you see that as a country, we realized way back in 2015 that grain is such an important commodity. Now, among other things, the policy encourages value addition. And when you talk about value addition, one of the most important aspects is quality. What does quality do to the grain? It actually adds a lot of value in terms of building the industries, promoting our export potential, and even import substitution. I'll tell you that it is unfortunate that in 2024, you still find that we are importing food, grain from Tanzania, rice. The only
for someone who comes from Butaleja, I get shocked.
We are crossing the same environment, but we are crossing the borders and importing what? Rice. What is the difference? Quality. And in most cases, even Kenya here, they come in here, get our maize, get our rice, cross the border, process it a little bit. Some of it returns as what?
It reminds me of the old story of colonialists who could come and buy our product and come and sell to us at very expensive prices. Now it's happening at the neighborhood.
So to the need of that policy, which requires that we add value from here. Value addition goes beyond the because it creates even the industries, the jobs, and the access to the markets beyond the borders, and therefore revenue to governments. So that is why this initiative becomes a landmark.
It is an entire tool for economic development.
Yeah.
Fully packed. The policies in place, the authorities in place, UNBS. And I would like to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, you have a new shelf in town. Mr. Engineer James, you have a new shelf in town. And when it comes to UNBS, I think it's not business as usual. It's business as usual this time around. I visited one of the factories, which I won't say the name, and they told me of what they faced when your team went to visit them and realized that they are producing juice, which these are beverages, edible things and fast foods, and they had not cemented their floor. They testified. They said UNBS came here and we're still scared if we come here and we have not done much. So they cemented the floor. That's one of the feedback I can give you. So job well done.
Thank you.
And to Mr. Benson, one of the things I would like to know, because now you stand at the position of the consumer of the grains.
Yes.
You represent the consumer at a broader picture. Because you are handling procurement of thousands of tons of grains from different countries.
Right.
What are some of those challenges that have been around grains in Uganda?
First of all, is we are talking about challenges that are rotating around quality.
Yes.
And quality trickling down to the market, to the price actually. Because first of all, if there is no maximum competition, then the ultimate affected person is the grower of maize, of grain, let's put it generally. Because I will give you an example, because when we were doing this guideline, we did a lot of consultations. We consulted Grain Council, we consulted Ministry of Trade, we consulted Agriculture, Ministry of Finance, was at the center of it, UNBS. And maize currently, the price is very low. Because the export market of Kenya, they have been buying a lot of our maize for the animals. Of South Sudan was affected by the quality.
The quality, yes.
You must have heard about aflatoxins. That our maize is full of aflatoxins. And what causes this? What causes this is because those suppliers are not satisfied.
Poor handling.
Poor handling.
Post-harvest?
Post-harvest handling. Poor post-harvest handling. Because they are drying from open space. They are drying, they are not cleaning. They are packing, even with rubbish, to maximize the kilograms. But when you are going to look at generally what the farmers get out of this, then you don't get much overall in terms of revenue to the farmer. And the ultimate, again, the challenge is you never know what causes this cancer. The cancer disease has increased. And all schools, and here I'm talking about public schools as public agencies, as consumers will regulate. But all our children are in these schools.
And these schools.
They consume the grain. You don't know where this grain, you don't see the effect immediately. But in the long run, maybe someone is having a cancer and you don't know actually what has caused.
Yeah, little do you know that grain caused the problem?
So that's why the approach we are taking now is to first enforce compliance with government procuring agencies.
Yes.
So, and by the way, Noah, government is the biggest buyer of anything.
Of anything, yes.
If you want to do business and earn big,
Government is the biggest buyer.
yeah, deal with government. Because 60% of our budget, Engineer Kasegwa, it goes through public procurement. When I look at the other time already, 72 trillion. But 60% of that will be spent on public procurement. 15% of our GDP is spent on procurement.
So, if you and among the things that are going to be procured,
Grain. Yeah. And grain,
very important.
if why we are concerned that eventually this procurement that is done by government is not actually consumed by government.
Yes.
It is consumed by citizens of this country. So for you may think Uganda police force is procuring this maize flour. They are not the one consuming. It is your son who is at Kavalia training ground.
Training ground, yes, that is consuming it.
Or someone who has been arrested and is at Chiaron police station
is consuming
it. Could be me. So we must be deliberate to ensure that the public procurement to begin with is executed through certified suppliers. And that is my role, to protect the citizens.
To the arm of the law, I will call him the new sheriff in town.
Yes.
You have had the challenges of the consumer, but I am so sure that you, the implementer of this, these guidelines and enforcing and making sure that grains policies are well implemented and the law is enforced to make sure that Ugandans are safe. The students that Mr. Benson has talked about are safe. The forces that we are training in Cavalier are safe. The people in public places that procure these grains are safe. The one thing that I have liked right now is the fact that there are so many things that we may be overlooking. I mean, you tell someone the grains policy and it's like, so what? True. But the government has sat down, made research, identified areas, where there are gaps, and now we are realizing actually grains are a solution, but they can be a problem in the long run if well managed. And that's where I would like to get to hear the challenges from ULB's perspective. Yes, the challenges you're facing. The consumer has explained, senior consumer, chief consumer. Yes. Now we get to the chief implementer of this law. Yes,
Clearly, as I highlighted, a number of challenges, specifically like aflatoxins.
Yes.
They are largely, not absolutely, to handling issues, and he elaborated on that. Now, what are there are many challenges, to including, you've had our exports of the same grain being affected
in Kenya
to our neighboring countries, Kenya, South Sudan, and all it is about not meeting the standards, the quality standards. But rather than on what one might even, and why it is important to require people and in the value chain of grain to be certified by UNBS.
Yes.
We are not only policing quality, but we are supporting the entities to actually build the capacity to, one, ensure that the handling is proper, thereby ensuring that that there is efficiency as they meet the quality issues.
The quality issues, yes.
But even when issues like aflatoxins happen, we have standards of managing that kind of consignment. If you are certified, you have capacity to manage. There's something we call downgrading. If it was made for human consumption, you can downgrade it to animal feed, or even go to another standard, like getting ethanol out of the affected areas. And that is where I say that this whole program actually benefits all the value chain players. So issues of export, clearly our markets, our target markets, will have more trust in our products. So issues of price, this whole policy is actually going to even help in making sure that government is purchasing from, it has assurance that it's purchasing from entities that have the capacity to deliver a good product. To the extent of eliminating middlemen. What my brother was talked about, the issue on prices. Because of the very many middlemen, you find that actually the farmer is not benefiting from the good prices.
The good prices, yes.
The supplier to government is getting. So if we worked with our agencies, like the ministries of agriculture, to ensure that the whole value chain is well facilitated, you'll find, and then we are adding value, you find that even the farmer will benefit from this initiative. Yeah, so that is how I would...
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the conversations that doesn't happen usually on the media, it's a conversation we're having today. It's a conversation that you may not have thought about, and yet it's information that you need to take home to the farmers. Agriculture, from primary, we have been told agriculture is the backbone of the country. It's employing people, effortlessly employing people, and qualified and unqualified agriculture. And the agriculture in Uganda, I think the biggest percentage are dealing in cereals. They are dealing in grains, which is why it is very important that you take this information as key. But before we get to talk about the core role of UNBS and the core role of PPDA, because we're going to get into them practically, how you are handling and implementing this, let's go into a very short commercial break and we will return. My name is Noah Pera. This is Smart 24 TV, and of course you're watching the Economic Agenda.
Smart 24, driving business.
Uganda fire! Endiva fire! Our border fire! Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! Has Nambole Stadium opened its doors once again? Fire! While you were moving in wet, you were the 12th player. When Uganda Cranes needed you the most. Fire! Through our famous wins in Gatuba and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder. Now, as Uganda Cranes take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Cranes is unstoppable! Uganda fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Turn your house into the GoTV Kids Club. Your GoTV package is your ticket to entry, and there's plenty for everyone. Discover new places, play along with wacky characters, and learn fun facts and essential skills. So get and stay connected to GoTV for 24-hour access to the GoTV Kids Club at home and on the go with GoTV Stream. GoTV. Love it.
Amanya gange nze Nabaloga Barbara naviridde mu Kiteezi nga mbadde nkola ebyemikono mu weaving ow'emikono nga naye nkozesa ngalo na mpiso neza bulijjo. Wano mazeewo weeks 2 mu training eno, nyongedde okukuguka mu kukola table mats nga nkozesa ebintu ebyaffe ebyawano ebya bulijjo ng'ebyayi, ewuzi, nga nkozesa kamashini. Naye obuzibu bwensanze mu kuyiga kwange kuno nti kineetagisa okuba nga nina mashini okusobola okwongera okukola ebintu byange nga bwe mbiyize nga nfunye kamashini. So neebaza aba GROW abatuteekekedde omusomo guno ne PSFU okututeekamu ssente ne batulowoozaako ne batuteekamu omusomo guno. Mbeebaliza ddala era obubaka bwempa basaba banteekemu obwesige ne ssente sobole okwongera omutindo gwange nga bwe nviize wano.
GROW, generating growth opportunities and productivity for women enterprises.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda, the taste.
Smart 24, driving business.
And there you are, the Smart 24 TV, the economic agenda. We are back with one of the most important conversations of feeding the population, you know. Some of the things we see them, we talk about them, but not in the way that we need to analyze the likely challenges that can come if they are mismanaged. And Mr. Engineer James and Mr. Benson, they are here to guide us on how important grains are and how significant they are in economic development. Now, before we went off, we were analyzing the challenges, and you have them, we have had them to the level that if grains are mismanaged, there can be repercussions of sicknesses, chronic diseases like cancer. And the government is doing all this, putting policies in place, like the grains policy, to make sure that our people are protected. Think of your child at school. That's why you need to make sure that handling of grains from the garden is very important to the farmer out there, and of course to different Ugandans who are trying to deal in the business of grains. Right now, I want to start with Engineer James. on the issue of the role of UNBS when it comes to this policy and implementing and protecting grains to be, not to cause harm. Tell us more about your role and how are you handling it?
Yes, UNBS, as I highlighted earlier, we have a mandate in at least 3 areas.
Yes.
Public health, safety, and the public health, safety and the environment, fair trade and consumer protection, and the competitiveness of our local products.
Yes.
Now, we do this through developing standards that guide the quality issues to ensure that the products are meeting the quality standards. Now, in line with the initiative that the government of Uganda has started today of requiring all suppliers of all government agencies to the extent of grain and grain products, we are not starting from zero. We already have over 630 certified companies registered.
600 and
over
600.
And it's not like that. We are continuing to certify even other potential grain suppliers.
Yes. Are these all in grains, or you mean even other?
Food, and it's mainly agriculture and food potential, but particularly now for the purpose of grain, there are even over 300 specifically handling grain and grain products.
Wow.
But we're in the business of working with SMEs, micro, small, and medium enterprises,
yes,
to build their capacities to meet our required quality standards. And the process is very, very simple, because you make an application on our line, online, on www.unbs.go.ug, and we receive the application. You will have to be a little bit technology savvy, because we require you to have an email, so that you don't have to make all the way to the UNBS offices physically.
Yes.
Then our teams will receive, and we schedule for audit.
After reviewing
your application and what we want to do, we schedule for audit. Our team will come and audit you. Depending on the level you are at, then we will guide you. Our previous approach has been more of enforcement rather than even promotion. But the new energies...
The enforcement seems to be very demanding.
Yes, it's demanding, but with this new approach,
yes,
there is a carrot. So at least the supplier now has a carrot to even work towards. If you want to supply government, then you must.
There's a standard you must follow.
You must follow and you must meet. So now our promotion aspect to meet for the SMEs meeting the standard is going to kick in. We have a whole team or unit about training SMEs, and we have another one charged with building the capacities of the micro, small, and medium enterprises.
Yes.
And then this process takes between 3 to 6 months.
3 to 6 months.
And you're ready to be certified to supply government. Now we are looking forward to build capacity of the bureau, and we now work with PPDA again to enroll other products. That will be great to the extent of ensuring that government, the biggest buyer, is consuming certified, quality assured products and services. And then the fight of substandard goods will be very easy to win. It's a challenge that is not so
I see the future.
Absolutely.
I see the future. Something that many of us have been worried about, considering some of the stories that we have seen before. A few years ago, I saw some electric cables that were in the market that you could fold and they just get cut. as a number of products. We have seen these liquors that are packed in polythene papers. We have seen them that have caused
died. Some they take and go blind.
Yes.
So
that's a lot of work that comes to UNBS.
Yes.
If it was a bit of political, I would want to know how did these people go through to make sure that this goes to the market. But I want to save that question for another time. Right now, I want to focus on the PPDA, who is the consumer. He would possibly be the person asking you that question because he would like to know, Mr. James, Engineer James, how did you let this product come to us? But I would like to know your role in when it comes to grains products, your core role as PPDA.
Thank you very much. No. First of all, the PPDA that is a government statutory body established by an act of Parliament in 2003.
Yes.
Was put to provide oversight and regulate provide oversight because public procurement was decentralized to government agencies. In this line of grain, there are government MDAs that buy grain, including local governments.
Yes.
If you go to Taleja, government hospital, government hospital, buy food for the patients.
For the patients.
So when they are procuring, they must follow standards, specifically focusing on this. And this now in line with what we talked about, National Grain Trade Policy.
Yes.
Which also talks about standards. Now again, we have the PPDA Act, which requires that consumers consume standards. When we talk about specifications, we are talking about standards.
Yep.
The people talked about it is a standard.
They are simply not meeting the standard.
They are not meeting the standard.
So, in the process of standardizing, where do we base ourselves? I am not a standard competent authority. UNBS is a standard competent authority. So we have to work together. And in these consultations, actually, we also discovered there is another authority and Ministry of Trade called Uganda Warehouse Receipt Authority.
Okay.
They are in charge of putting warehouses all over the country.
All over the country.
So that the farmers can have process, clean, and store.
Post-harvest handling.
Post-harvest handling. So that if this member of grain council,
yes,
who's buying grain for export or to supply a school, now is buying from a standard warehouse that is certified. Now the product is certified by
UNBS.
Now how do we come to enforce compliance now in line with the PPDA Act and specifically Section 134 of the PPDA Act, which requires government to give guidelines.
Yes.
Now this is what we have issued. The guideline has been issued. It was actually gazetted on 23rd.
Yes.
Of this month.
That's Friday. Yeah.
It is now enforced.
The new guideline.
Yeah. All government agencies except schools.
Primary schools and
secondary schools, which will give a window up to January 2025. So we first develop capacity, we first tell them go to UNBS,
get certified.
If in the Makovai school is consumed has the suppliers around the Kuji, then they encourage these suppliers, they are informed, we come to UNBS.
We build capacity.
Yes.
So that is the center of it. It is raw now. and those who consume grain and grain must adhere to. But what is important also to note, especially those outside, as much as you are registered as UNBS or subscribed by UNBS, to participate in public contract, then you must also register PPDA. We have registered providers, and now when you are going to register and your product or your line of business is grain or grain product, then one of the requirements will be certification. Before they issue certificates. So UNBS issues certificates, that will be a requirement. If you say, I supply grain, this is my line of business. As much we ask, are you registered with the GISB? That is a requirement. Yes. Are you tax compliant? That's it. Do you have a team? Do you have a bank account? Do you have a seal? So the seal
quality mark, yes.
Quality mark. The requirement one, I don't know what the quality mark.
Yeah, I will explain. Yeah.
The certificate that you get from UNBS with the requirement to register, so that when a school or a ministry is buying this product in the office of the prime minister, then you show that actually is certified. Yes. The beauty in our consultation again I have had is that UNBS regularly, because you may be certified today,
tomorrow you do your own things.
They don't. So they do regular monitoring. Yes. That's why they need support. Yes. So that they don't get suppliers of this. When it's agencies, government agencies who are buying, they say, but we can't see it. The good thing is safe. They are about 600. They are about 630. So I believe we are going to do some analysis and ensure that these are spread all over the country.
Yes. One of the things that I missed to hear was the relationship, which is also considered the role that you play between you and URA, because this seal is given by you, and URA, for the number of times I think, looks around for it. What is the
relationship?
Yes.
Yes. Just to build on that, UNBS has two products that we offer to our clients.
Yes.
In this matter, the MSMEs. And we have what the medium, small, micro, small, and medium enterprises.
Yes.
And even the large enterprises, but we have two what I would want to call products.
Yes.
One is the distinctive quality mark, the Q mark, which is for products.
Yes.
And by law, by the UNBS Act, every product on our markets must be certified. And that means that whether it's the water, whether it's the soft drinks, the grain on any shelves should be certified.
Okay.
The other product is the QMS, Quality Management System Certification, which now is being required by government, that for you to supply government, you must be certified with the QMS. That is the one that analyzes the processes and the systems that you're using to produce the product. Now, what is the relationship with URA? Clearly, when you're going to access the market, then you will earn a revenue, you as the entity, and therefore URA is interested in taking its share, the tax. Exactly. So that is, and we are also dealing with URA on another project or program, which is also aligned to counter counterfeits. It's called the digital tax stamp, and on our part we call it the digital conformity stamp. Now what does that do? If you have any product, the power of enforcement is being given to the general public to get their phone and scan that digital conformity mark, and they will tell that this is a fake or a substandard product, and then they can make a call, and then we can come in to enforce. You'll be shocked that you talked about the substandard alcohol packs. Statistics, recently the Alcohol Association came up with a study, and they are saying above 60% of the alcohol on the market is actually substandard.
It's substandard.
Exactly.
That is dangerous.
And that's dangerous because some of it is very, and it's not only alcohol, it's even other products.
Other products.
So that is why it is important that the general public demand to see a quality mark by UNBS before they consume.
This quality mark cannot be duplicated anywhere.
No, but that is where there is verification. Okay. If it's a duplicate, we are now employing technology
to verify
that quality mark. And it's going to empower the entire general public to do it. So that is where we are. We want to leverage technology. And the good thing is recently there was a census. We are a very young and vibrant country.
Yes.
So the 73% below 30 will help in countering the substandard.
They need to protect their lives. And the new shelf in town, ladies and gentlemen, Engineer James, you have information that is very vital. Question. These certified providers, grain providers, how do we access them?
Yeah.
How do stakeholders access them?
Yes. Already, for example, everyone we certify, we upload them on our website.
On your website.
So to verify that is just access our website on www.unbs.go.ug. And if you search for certified service providers, you will find a full list and an update. There's something important that my colleague, Mr. Benison, highlighted, the issue of need for continued renewal. If we certify you, we give you a certificate that is valid for 1 year. Then after 1 year, we send our auditors. If the processes and systems are still proper and are giving assurance, then we give you another certification for another 1 year. But over time, we are looking to even give longer if you win the trust that actually, the confidence that you are compliant.
Amazing.
Absolutely. So there is renewed energies to ensure that the products meet the quality requirements, the standards set by the Bureau.
Briefly, to Mr. Benson, how the new guidelines, how do we plan to disseminate them?
First of all, this is part of dissemination.
Awesome. We will soon in this. I told you, he's right on.
We said they are effective 23rd August 2024. They are
in Lone Parish.
Same for primary schools and secondary schools.
Yes.
Which will commence in January 2025. Secondly, my call, and today we will meet the chairperson of the Green Council. We are saying register on our electronic government procurement system.
Yes.
So that if a government agency is buying, they certainly see the suppliers.
Yes.
Satisfied
suppliers.
Number 3, we are drawing a program into countrywide because they are issued. The first thing is to send the letters to accounting officers.
Yes.
And the accounting officers will be part of our ambassadors. Scaling down to their procurement and disposal units, and then the disposal units must ensure that their suppliers that have been confined by the government agencies and forward accordingly. Definitely there will be some, there will be many suppliers that have been supplying government and other countries. So they should be able to engage and bring them on board to UNBS.
Yes.
So that UNBS is able to reach out and then say, assess, audit them, and say you are missing ABCD, like the one you gave, which was producing
On the
floor.
they have
Yeah.
And the approach I like with UNBS these days is not close.
Yes, they're on ground.
They will say, put ABCD. When they come back, they confirm where ABCD
has been implemented.
And
well done, Mr. James.
Yeah. So I think it's not, it will not be difficult to implement because then those certified providers are there. Our role is supposed to be engaging, engaging the media. We want the media to be our partners in this because ultimately, even you know, tonight you may eat kaunga.
I have already eaten kaunga. I ate rice as well.
There you go.
Grains.
Grains everywhere.
And I do eat a lot of grains.
There's something that I want to build on. The aspect of the change of approach to working with our stakeholders. I think in the short and medium term, as UNBS, we are looking to grow quality MSMEs, micro, small and medium enterprises. We are planning to handhold our clients, our target customers to meet our standards. And we have quite not yet fully diverse network, fully decentralized. We are in the regional blocks. We are in Barara. We have an office in Gulu and Mbali. And we will continue to grow. Jinja, we are there, but I think the certification and testing facilities can quickly be accessed in Bali. Yeah, I think for weights and measures in Jinja, we are there. So we need to expand our network so that we extend services closer to our target client. Because, say for schools, they are in deep in the whole diverse of the country.
And I'm telling you, these schools are business schools. They're business people. They look for all possible ways to find cheaper food for their. At least if all the grade is standard, that would be very interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, since we hope to have Mr. Benson and Engineer James on this show often, we believe that this conversation is just the start. It's a foundation of what we plan to share with you more from UNBS and PPDA. Mr. Benson came here and gave us, of course, a lot of that foundation. And here he is. He has built on with another branch, that's UNBS. And we hope that UNBS is also going to look at how we can look into very interesting topical matters that are going to teach the public and our viewers more about what is happening. Thank you so much for being part of the show. We have been discussing grains and grain products, and that brings us to the end of it. I want to wish you a good night. My name is Noah. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.
Smart 24, driving business.
This is Jordan. When it comes to classwork, Jordan is magic. Jordan shines. Jordan makes his peers better. Jordan is a true leader. White Star Magic family. Be a leader. Be magic.
Amanya gange nze Naswa Sharafa mbeera Kawempe era nga nkola liquid soap. Liquid soap okuva covid we yajja abantu ne batandika bagamba banabe mu ngalo awo naffe twatandikira okuyingira mu business ya liquid soap. Wano mazeewo weeks 2 era nga nkuguse mu liquid soap banyongedde mu skills mweyo yennyini product yange. Skills zenjize wano ngenda zikozesa okulaba nga product yange ekyukamu kuba era we baali batuyigiriza twayiga batuyigiriza mu business development ne batuyigiriza design thinking tuwetadde tutya mu ngato